Hello, trading has closed on March 22nd, 2024. We'll do our disclaimer, go over our calls, make some predictions. It's my trading plan for Monday, which is March 25th, 2024. Please remember I can be wrong, and if you're going to trade, do so at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the early low. That's this. We said that yesterday's pattern was negative. We should see lower prices regardless of where we close, and that's what happened. Here's what we said. These are the patterns we should see next week. The market's closed on Friday. Over the weekend, March 30th is Carolan's F18 from the 19th of February 2020. Remember, if there is a change in trend, tends to be within 3 calendar days of this time, but if the time prints, it doesn't mean there's going to be a change in trend. During the day, these drops were called false, prices retraced. These rallies were called false, prices retraced. This looks like a negative day, but we couldn't manage a close under these lows, so negativity was absorbed, didn't accomplish much. There's also a wall into the close. This is often reversed Monday by gapping up over this high. It doesn't always work on a Friday. A lot of times you'll just get follow through of the last move on Monday. We won't know that until Monday's open, but there's a good chance we're going to gap one way or the other. Well, the idea was we could have a sell-off, but not a disaster. We think eventually we're going to break through the upper trend line, but that doesn't mean you'll do so in a straight line. Doesn't mean you won't go lower first. Brazil trying to find a count for the end of this wave, blue 5, and until there's a count that makes sense, even though we don't have to go up every day, I think we're still in that wave. There's no reason to change the idea we had yesterday. We think we've completed wave red 3 of blue 5. We think we're in wave red 4, and if we're in brown C of red 4, you'll get wave balance around 51.63 cash, complete wave red 4, and then have a wave 5 of 5 up to new highs. Of course, just because that works doesn't mean something else won't, but it's a working hypothesis. Well, Monday's pattern has a really high. It doesn't tell us where we open. Typically, it's a bearish day with a low in the final hour. We have mixed signals, so we'll have to use the mixed signals rules. It's bullish. The day-long decline couldn't manage a close under intraday lows. In addition, there's a wall into the close, what's often followed by gapping up. But it's not bullish at all. We have a VIX Bollinger Band reversal sell signal, and there was no follow-through to yesterday's big rally. The wave count suggests we're going to continue lower Monday, ideally by gapping under today's low. That's what I'm looking for. And if that happens, it's a possible target of 51.63 cash. If that doesn't happen, I'm just going to have to wait to see what happens in the early trade. I'm not holding anything overnight, and I rarely do. So we're looking for a gap down, but to the possible target 51.63, it isn't a lock. We could also gap up, which would mess up my count, but I've had to erase counts before. No matter how low we drop, I don't think this impulsive wave is over, and I think we're going to new all-time highs, and the only question is if we're going to drop first, which I think is likely provided we can open by gapping under these lows, completing today's pattern. And if that happens, could have more downside. We still have this 51.77.38 target. I'd like to see it sometime. It doesn't have to be now. If we don't gap down and we gap up, well, I'm not risking any money on it yet. It's a pattern with the early high, and that's today's call.